Disclaimer, disclaimer, read all about it.
Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Thank you for being here. Happy Tuesday, I believe it is, January 30th. What are we going to talk about today? Michael Vaughan case, Sarah Wondra, did you know? Not, did you know what happened to Michael Vaughan? Because that would require charges and a conviction. For sure. But did you know about Sarah Wondra? Because I know a lot of people were like, oh, this is going to be good. She knows something. I know what I know. And that's all I can tell you. I say hi to everybody in the chat. Chris, good to see you. OG Brooke, always glad to see you. You have been a member longer than anybody else. You deserve all of the good things. Not only because you're a member, but because you are a great human being and you have stuck by me through thick and thin, which I know cannot be easy. So I really appreciate you being here with me for almost 2 years. That blows my mind. It really does. So honored. Archangel, hello, hello. Hellcat, good to see you. Queen of Crazy, what it do? Stars, so good to see you. Violet, my girl, good to see you as well. Mr. Eve, Mr. Eve, the one I don't deserve. I certainly do not. I am a thorn in his backside. But you know what? That's not really true. Just kidding. We love each other very much, and we have 2 beautiful children that we would do anything for and protect at all costs. Hello, Daphne. Good to see you, hun. Nico, good to see you. Can you believe that Donna Serafina interviewed Stacey Wondra? I was waiting for it. Now, no, I didn't go tell him to go to Donna. I didn't even know about it. I am not a keeper of Stacey Wondra. Although they have called me, and I have called myself and given myself the title Suspect Simp. Just for the hell of it. Hi, White Crime. Good to see you. Always love seeing your open-mindedness in other chats and as well as mine. Thank you for being here. Who did I miss? Blue Bella. Hello, hello. Mazikeen. Hello. Is it really you, Mazikeen? Just kidding. I know it's you. Pandies, good to see you. Wow, it's been a minute. Lenny, hello, hello. Mr. Eve, warning to everyone here, keep it respectful tonight. I will not tolerate any nonsense, and neither will the other mods. Wow, Mr. Eve, did you take Mod 101? Because I don't remember that. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And check your text. Wee Frosty. So glad you're here. Rhonda. Good to see you, Rhonda. That's just how we say Rhonda in the South. I'm sorry if that's not correct. Popcorn and M&Ms. So good to see you. All right, y'all. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I would be glad to answer them. Please be respectful. And for the people that are here watching, go ahead and hit that like button, even the lurkers in the back. You know, you can't help but watch your girl Eve. So, what do we need to know about Sarah Wondra? Well, shit. You know, I thought it was just be courteous to, you know, go over in her own words, because, you know, I don't like to speak for other people. I'm really kind of bad at it. So I let them do the talking and I do the walking. And I think it's only fair. I think it's only fair from what I know to be true about Sarah Wondra. And then we're going to review the Donna Serafina interview. My name was dropped in that interview, which I was like, oh, Lord, help me. What do I do with my hands? And, you know, I really don't care who it is or what's being said. It really is. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Because I know what I know to be true. But when it comes to, you know, a missing child or someone who cannot speak for themselves, it irks me a little bit. It irks me a little bit when you lie on stuff. That's all. And it wasn't disrespectful or anything. It was just, hey, matter of fact, I'm very appreciative that Donna said she has been covering this case for a very long time, longer than anyone else that she has seen on the YouTube streets. I'm not sure if I'm the longest, but I sure am the most persistent, if you will. And I'm more open to possibilities that I can think of. Now, there are some creators that I would like to shout out that hasn't been around for a while because they were, you know, either harassed or told to shut the hell up. I would like to call out TFA for his coverage. Thank you for that. And what was the other one? Oh, that was a monetization problem. I'm not going to shout that one out. But I digress. The interviews that came out from the very beginning, like Bam Bam, and, you know, those creators that only had, you know, one little interview here and there. Hey, when you have a missing child, you do what you got to do and you go on these interviews. And for those creators who gave that platform to Brandy Neal, thanks. That's awesome. Because that's what she wanted. And we appreciate that. Lenny, been watching, and what a great amount of work you've done, man. Bravo. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't need a pat on the back, but I'll take it. I will take it. So if you are here, Stacey has not been cleared. Nope. We know that. I wanted to play something a few things before we get started. You know how I am. I go all over the place, but I do end up making it back to the dirt road, if you will. There was something that I noticed, and a lot of people are still asking about. But let's just get this specific thing out that I have been, because I get emails and I would like to address them. So I think that's what I'm going to do in the beginning of the lives, to just kind of get that out of the way, because your girl Eve will forget. She is a hot mess. Shout out to Lenny. This was, or my friend Heather. This was hilarious. I about fell out of my chair. She sent me this earlier. Jupiter and Saturn, watching you blame them for acting like a bitch yesterday. Absolutely. This is my face throughout the entire coverage of the Michael Vaughan case that just so happened to be everyone's slap and tickle these days, as well as this. This is me, and this is me watching the shit show. I just will say that for sure. That's me. Thank God nobody's looking at my face while I'm watching the YouTube streets. Hilarious. Another video that I'll play at the end is kind of funny. I think it'll end on a good note. I think you're going to enjoy it. And then I'm going to, there's going to be a members live. Oh my God, a members live. I haven't done those in probably a year, like an actual members live where I'm actually speaking, not just posting a video. Because my friend Wee has been reminding me without even saying anything, you should probably get on that. You have obligations. And for that, I thank you. All right. Let's get into some questions that I've had that I think everybody will benefit from getting a refresh recap on. Why not? So back in the day, Brandy Neal had went on panel. I think the title is "The YouTube Screets Have Gone Mad, Y'all," or something like that. And probably not the y'all, that's me being country. And some people were asking about, well, what about the morning time? Because it doesn't matter about what they think or what theory they have. They just don't know anything much about the timeline in a sense of Michael Vaughan. And so the only way that I know how to provide this to you is what was said from previous dealings, right? Previous interviews, etc. And I mean, this is really what I can tell you. And because this creator, Purple, who loves me to death, is friends with her, I would assume that this would be the best place to get this information and trust it because it's very credible. So give me just a moment and let me pull that up for you. You know how things don't like to download fast around here, especially this brain. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. Let's play it.
They wanted to know what time you left the house to take Blue to color guard that morning.
So if you can't hear that, what time did Michael's mother take older sister to color guard?
Anywhere between 7:35 and 7:45 a.m. Because color guard would start.
So 7:35 to 7:45 that morning. Okay.
At 8 a.m. And honestly, I'm not making excuses, but trauma brain, I actually did not remember taking her to color guard until I was interviewed with the FBI. Like I couldn't remember from the time I left the house to work, the day at work, until I got home when the cops were here. And then it was black. Bits and pieces, yes. And I have gone through all of that. And guess what? We've been told things that we could not remember that we were questioned about from the internet, actually. And the police were like, oh, yeah, you were here. Okay. Still don't remember it to this day. So I would like to ask anybody to tell me, if you're in an absolute pure panic, what you would remember. You would remember every single scent, every single smell. It's been 462 days, and there are still things that are coming back to both of us, all of us, our babies. So.
Okay. Did anybody need any repeating, or did anyone need a refresher course? Anyone? Not being sassy today. I'm being as straight as an arrow, because the old life of being as crooked as a politician is over. No more $10,000 donations to a suspect in a missing child's case. That life has gone behind me. I'm just a truth-telling suspect simp now. Okay. So again, she was asked, as I said, when did mom take older sister to color guard that morning? 7:35 to 7:45. Couldn't remember. Trauma brain. Doesn't remember anything up until getting home. Blacked out. Therapists have come to help extract that information. What would you do? What would you do? Totally understand. That's all I'll say. I guess the FBI said she was here, 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 and here. Wherever that is, so there. Capiche? Clear? All right. Oh, Lenny, you don't say. I think you're right. It just depends. It just depends. So maybe that can be talked at another day. I feel good today. I'm sane, clear, and in a good mood. But I hope that happens. Yep. All right. Next, I want to go over. I'm glad that we got that out of the way. Let me think here. Oh, right. One more thing. This is about, well, I was asked a few times, Eve, have you ever heard of anybody that maybe was a witness to these suspects hanging out on the side of Southwest 8th in Arizona, putting power steering fluid in their, their vehicle, their old GMC pickup? And I went, well, sure. Let's see what I can do. And I do have this. So let's take a gander and see what we get. Maybe this will help. I don't know.
She has a whole stack of cars that they can't identify. She showed me a gray sedan. She's like, it came in. What time did it come in? It came in at like 6:30 or something like that, and it left at like 6:55. That white vehicle that I said that was sitting, this is kind of scary. The white vehicle that I said, the kind of SUV one that was sitting in the park, they have a picture of it sitting in the park. Mm-hmm. She's a neighbor. She lived up here. Her kids were riding scooters down to the park, and you can see her on camera parking down the road watching her kids.
Crystal clear? Did that help? Do we need to recap? So there was a neighborhood lady with children who were riding scooters. They were at the park and riding their scooters, the children down the street. And she was following them because it was hot as Hades. And so from anywhere between, what was it, 6:30? If I refresh my notes here. You know your girl Eve is crazy. 6:32. I had to pull it up again. My bad. One moment.
She has a whole stack. She's a neighbor. She lived up here. Her kids were riding scooters down to the park, and you can see her on camera parking down the road watching her kids.
Okay. Okay. Going back a little bit further, and it's laggy. You know how my system is not good for this kind of stuff. You know, YouTube's. It is. It's just, it's slow. It is slow. So there are a whole stack of cars that they cannot identify. All right. And it was anywhere between 6:30 onward to about 7, which is very crazy. So that person sitting at the park, watching her kids play, then heading home. Could they have witnessed the suspects? Yes, Lenny. Lenny, please do. Yes, thank you. I can see a nay. Now watch me whip. Does anyone know if Brandy has an indoor garage? Yes. Yes, she does. She was being a mother and keeping an eye on her kids. Correct. That's a great thing. Really. I mean, that's legit. So I wonder if, did they ever go on to Southwest 9th Street? I don't think so. But the camera here, did you hear the camera has them skedaddling down the street of Southwest 8th down to, I'm assuming, the Hidden Meadows neighborhood where Stacy and Sarah Wondra's house was. So I wonder if they have been talked to. I'm sure they have. Nobody should come after these people. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty by law. This is all speculation. Don't do it. So that was very telling to me. Like, there were other people on the road. It would only make sense that there are other people on the road. What cameras are we speaking on, right? Well, I think that there were a lot of cameras. I think that there were a lot. Or at least ones that could see down the street. Is that what? Let me just play it one more time so that I can understand what I'm listening to. It has been a while. One moment.
She has a whole stack of cars that they can't identify. She showed me a gray sedan.
Gray sedan.
She's like, it came in. What time did it come in? It came in at like 6:30 or something like that, and it left at like 6:55.
6:55.
That white vehicle that I said that was sitting, this is kind of scary. The white vehicle that I said, the kind of SUV one that was sitting in the park, they have a picture of it sitting in the park. She's a neighbor. She lived up here. Her kids were riding scooters down to the park, and you can see her on camera parking down the road watching her kids.
Okay. My apologies. I minced my words. Could you believe it? I don't usually do that. Just kidding. I was just incorrect on what I was hearing. It's been a while. The gray sedan came in from 6:30 to 6:55. I don't know what this gray sedan's about. Don't ask me. I don't know. White SUV is a neighbor. So the white SUV, no idea. Doubt it's the Honda Pilot. I'm almost positive it isn't. So don't even go there because we aren't going to know. There was a gray sedan that saw something or didn't see something. There was a white SUV that a neighbor had that was following her kids on the scooters. Not sure about that time, but they would be witnesses to seeing something funny, some funny business, right? I hope they were paying attention. But, they had probably their own things to think about and do. So I wonder if, I hope that they saw something eventually or remembered something. So there's at least, I would say at least one or two that would be somebody that would know something. And I do have other examples I haven't gone through yet, but I will get on it. Your girl Eve will do her best. What do you think about that? If you are watching the replay, put your comments down below, and I will try to answer them. Right? Hey, Kraken, good to see you. Titty McGee. Nobody can lose your tits, especially Titty McGee. That would be a horrible day. We will all cry. I would cry. You can't have a Titty McGee. You have to have the titties. Why crime? Eve, what was Stacy's vehicle make and color? I heard him mention truck and Escalade. So which one did he use to tow Brandon's vehicle allegedly? This is the GMC Burgundy truck that he had, that I'm assuming that's what it is. That's what he's saying. Can we trust everything? Not really, but I would be a fool, and he would be a fool, to just go ahead and take it for face value if it was a lie. Right? And it was something else. Right? I have seen this truck on a photo. Absolutely have. Doing my sleuthing that I do. But it's very difficult to see. Now, this alleged Burgundy GMC truck had been repossessed per Stacy Wondra. I don't know how, when, who, or what, but I do remember seeing Sarah Wondra giving a shout out to a dealership and said, thank you so much for helping us. You came through for us, and it's on a website. Thank you so much for helping us, blah, 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 blah. Now, I tried to find the exact date of this information. Let me see if I can pull it up. But the business is no longer, so don't waste your time. Okay? It's not. It's something else now. You know how these car dealerships are. They're just a dime a dozen, and they change frequently, change owners, change names, and change locations. It's a tough, tough world out there, especially since COVID. No problem. I know there is so much information. And so, I have learned my lessons on what not to do, what to do and what not to do when researching things about a case. Sometimes, number one, it's usually the most simplest answer. And there could be multiple little simple answers that get you to the chaotic craziness that you're trying to dig through, right? It's usually the most obvious. Unless something points you into a different direction otherwise. 2, does it matter what you're talking about? Is it relevant? Will it get you to somewhere? Does it matter? Don't hone in and focus on those little things until there's something that tells you otherwise. And number 3, logic can only get you so far. Intuition plays a big key. 100% logic will not work. You have to have both your intuitive sense and your logic work together. Period. That's what I know. So is there anything else before we get started on Sarah Wondra's testimony? Because I know that you're dying to hear about this information. It's actually an amazing testimony. I don't have any I have thoughts about it, but I don't have any, I'm not sold on whether this makes somebody guilty or not, because that's not how you're supposed to do that. You're not supposed to look at somebody's character in the way that you're already finding guilt. That's kind of dumb. I guess that should be rule number 4 or 5. Don't look at someone as guilty or innocent. Look at what they say and do and how it relates to what they're being alleged of doing. Right? That's it. It's very, very hard in missing children's cases to do that because it's about the child. And the only people that know the ins and outs and the entire life and their whereabouts and what they do and don't do is the parents, right? So I'm not going to speculate on how I feel about it. You're just going to listen and observe and let's talk about it. It's just that simple. So let's get into it. I'm going to pull up. I hope it's still on here. Most of my research is notes or recordings, screen recordings, but not always do I grab everything because your girl Eve has to get some data every 2 months. It's expensive. I don't make no money. I'm sending $10,000 here and there and everywhere for suspects in a missing child's case, right? So I'm broke. And that's okay. And I have a surprise for you at the end of this live. Just hang tight. The first things first, let's get down to business. We must discuss discuss the TikTok of this area right here. And I know that everyone's going to, that is watching, who just wants them to be guilty, get bent, go to hell, burn in it, right? Without any proof of anything yet. This is the TikTok that people are talking about right here. And I'm assuming from what I'm hearing from Stacy that this may have been brought to their attention somehow, because I have a feeling that these people were being watched, observed, potentially. And I'll tell you why in a minute, because this does play into some things. All right. Did it bounce my 10K check to you, son of a gun? I better go call the CDC and see what we can do. Hang tight, OG. We'll get it cleared up. Looks like a dog path area to me. Looks like when the sun comes down from the sky and there's barbecue pits blocking that sunlight, maybe potentially, or people are pouring, grease or whatever. Something's getting poured. I don't know. I could be wrong. It could be totally something to look into. And I don't really honestly blame people for thinking how they think about this. What? Mr. Eve. Okay, one moment. Sorry, guys. What did I do? Lock the door again? Oh, got you. Awesome. Sorry about that. Sorry, Mr. Eve. My notifications are off. I have that around my porch on one side. Right. I mean, you could think whatever you think about it. But to make a video about it, if it is nefarious, would be that's some psychopathic shit right there. But we can't, innocent until proven guilty. Let's keep that in mind for everybody we speak on. Okay? So what's being said in this video? Let's take a listen.
So this is April 13th, 2022. Me and my husband's anniversary, April 13th. Do you see what that is? That is snow. Snow freaking way. So this
Sounds like Stacey has some jokes. How dare he? How dare he have jokes? You son of a bitch. Oh, one moment. I got coffee. Well, Mr. Eve got me coffee because, you know, he's a horrible person. One moment. Thank you, Mr. Eve. He says hi. So, he'll be back in the chat, not like he didn't already say that. Did I miss something? What do you mean? What do you mean, Nene? Not watching me with? So, Austin over here says happy anniversary. This is the same day, y'all, that the Tanner Butler dog bone looking ass incident happened, which is where Sarah is currently in jail, serving her sentence for all of those crimes that she committed that day, unrelated to Michael Vaughan. This is the same day. When I found that out, I was like, dang. See, I'd already done this. Probably this research was all done by at least January of 2023. This had been sleuthed, boofed, and goofed the whole time. This is old news, but not for some of you guys who haven't dug deep into the case because y'all were waiting for something bigger. Here you go. So, Miss Ma'am has a lot of videos, a lot. So give me one moment while I hold down my page down button because it's going to take a hot minute to get to where we need to be. Let me put my music on one moment. Thank you for waiting. Whew. When I say she TikToks. Hardcore. I want to let you know, up there she said, breaking news, Jesus is coming soon. So please, know that. All right. There's a lot of scripture in here. I have Vermin in the back knows that I have done this hard work. Many a night of Discord, witness testimony, coverage. Oh, those wonderful late night Discords. Oh, what a day. What a night. Many a night. But it's time for you guys to hear it. So let's start with, now, I'm going to say this. Some of it's going to, if you're listening with the mind of, what did you do with Michael? You're already guilty, just spill the beans. You're going to find something. It will always be there. Take it from someone who has learned from their mistakes and has done that and has made those mistakes before. Didn't mean I changed my mind on the whole big potato, but it isn't right to do. So just listen and calm your titties, except for if you're Tits McGee, you're an exception to the rule. Let's get into it.
Well, I don't really know where to begin with this, but I wanted to talk to you guys about some things that God has helped me overcome. And most people, they just post the words and people read the words of what's happened to someone, and you're like, man, that's really hard to get through. But the words don't really describe the pain behind it, you know, like you telling your testimony on your own. So I don't really know how else to explain that. Like, I feel like it's better to hear it from my mouth because God has got me through so much. When I was born, I was only 10 months old when my half-brother started to...
Whoa, trigger warning. Glad I have a quick draw McGraw pause game. So, real quick. Brooks from Crime Lines and Lies, the tragedy pimper that started this whole thing, with Stacey Wondra being on panel, there was a sound that you heard in the background that said, meow. It was Michael. That's what they said. It was Michael Vaughan. She's got him in there. This was September 26, 2021, by the way. This TikTok testimony. It is not Michael Vaughan. It is a cat that is meowing. That's it. So don't go there, please.
To molest me, and my biological mother was abusing me when I was between the ages of 1 and 4, and I was being sexually molested between the ages of 10 months old till I was 3.5. God helped me get out of that because he opened my mouth and allowed me to tell people what was happening with my brother. And you know, that's just the start. But there's going to be many videos. I'm going to be telling you my testimony. If it's something that you relate to, then, you know, it's for you. But if not, maybe it's not for you. But we all have a testimony. And I just want to share everything God's got me through. Because I want you to know that no matter what's happening right now, the Bible clearly shows that he can get you through anything, but even my testimony alone can show you that he can get you through anything. And now is the time to trust in the Lord and to come to the Lord, because there's not much time left. I mean, I can't tell you the day or the hour, but it's coming really soon. And I don't know how many Christians you need to tell you that, but I'm going to add to the group because gotta get all of our... Well, I don't really know where to begin with this, but... So, I realized...
Okay. Oh. Nope. Let's...
You're not going to believe...
Hold on. There we go.
I realized last time I didn't even press the 3 mitten button. I don't know why I didn't do that. Anyways, I'm a different kind of something, I guess. But anyways, so...
Yes. You are a different kind of something, and you have a sense of humor. And at the end of the day, it's kind of funny, and I do laugh. Now, I have no idea if she is innocent or guilty, but I'm going to assume innocent until proven guilty. So don't come at me unless you want to. But I can't help that the girl has a sense of humor and is kind of humble sometimes.
So then, after all that happened with my mom and my brother, and by the way, my dad left when I was 2. He left my mother. And my mom was extremely abusive. She would throw pots and pans and hit me. Well, not throw pots and pans, sorry. She'd throw bottles and hit me with pots and pans. And for no reason. There was no reason for it. But after that, I went to foster care. I had the best foster parents, probably in the whole world. I'm extremely grateful to God for putting me where he did. These 2 different families that had ultimately taken care of me between the ages of 4 and 9 years old were, I don't think I could have asked for a better place to be.
Aunt Virgine. Oh, Aunt Virgine. There's a letter that was written to Sarah when she was adopted out by family members when her mother died in New York. I don't know why and how, and I think I know when, but it doesn't matter. That's where she perished. And Dad was not in the picture. You'll hear that in a minute. But the letters that were written seem to be very, very heartfelt. And you could tell that there was, a little bit of regret on the family side, the mother's side. The father was never around. Just want to make that clear. Or he got gone very, very early. All right.
Although, during this time, there was a lot of turmoil inside myself. Between the ages of when you're born and 4 or 5 are pretty important. So when things like that happen to you, you can be an angry little girl. I was an angry little girl, but I was full of wonder, and I knew somehow that I've always known somehow that there's just one God. No matter how many things there are out there, I've never believed there was more than one God. I just knew that deep down. Even when I wasn't walking with him, even when I hadn't quite chose him yet, I knew there was just one God. And that's important to know that.
So she knew of God her whole life. Let's get that clear. Without even really choosing that righteous path that she says she struggled with, but committed to when she could. She already knew.
To be 9 years old, I got adopted to a great family. Although, well, they were a great family. My parents are wonderful people, but the place during that time became pretty hostile. There were some serious issues that had happened, which we'll get to in the next video because I feel like this one's going to be cut off shortly. But I was adopted, and I moved to Portland, Oregon when I was 9 years old. And that's not where I live now, but that's where I moved to when I was 9 after I got adopted. And next.
Before we get to the next video, what do you feel about her demeanor 2 months, 1 day shy of 2 months after Michael Vaughan disappeared? What do you think? Does she seem like doesn't want to be noticed, under the radar type of lady? Don't look at me at all. Secret life, anything like that? Does this scream to you any of that? So far, just so far. Not to me.
Next segment. So, I realized last time I didn't even press the 3-minute button. You're not going to believe this, but I was recording this video, and my phone went to 20% little thing, and it popped up that little thing, interrupted my video. And then, well, I was talking to myself about my testimony for a while. So I'm starting this over. But basically, where I left off, when I got adopted, I don't want to say her name out loud because I don't want her to feel like I'm targeting her in this story. Because it's not necessarily a target to her, but it was a dividing factor. After I got adopted, I was good for about a year or so, a year and a half, and then my parents decided to adopt another girl. I'd asked for a sibling because I went from being in foster care with 17 brothers and sisters to nobody, So that was a little crazy for me because I was so used to, well, not chaos, but chaos. So when I went from that to nobody, it was just pure loneliness, So then we adopted my sister, and I thought it was going to be great, but then everything was not great. It was, man, our family got divided. My sister was very manipulative and taught me a lot of those traits, manipulation, and I was always so gullible, I was always believing that we somehow would be great sisters, and it just never ended that way, I mean, it wasn't all her fault. We all hurt each other emotionally. We all, it was a lot of abuse in the house, but not physically. It was all very mental. There was lots of mental, psychological abuse going on between all of us. We were all, me included, we all just kind of were fighting each other all the time. I mean, like every day. And I started to act out from that. I started to sneak out and meet people I met on this phone chat line that I had found. And mind you, we lived in
Phone chat line that she had found. That was really cool, interesting to me because I know what she's talking about. Like, one of those you call to discuss with other people that you don't know, that you obviously do not know, to, get friends, whatever the case may be. So let me just back that up a little.
Sneak out and meet people I met on this phone chat line that I had found.
Now, the ones that I remember were not for children or teenagers. They were for adults. They were for hookups, right? I remember like 13, 14, 15 watching TV, and those late night commercials would come on. And we're about the same age. She's older than me a little bit. Sarah is by 2 years. So, yeah, it's probably what I'm talking about, those local hookups. You got this skimpy, girl in an outfit on her bed, twiddling her hair. Call in. Let's chat. Locals meet up now. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking that's what that was. Sing on late night TV, Mr. Eve. Mind your business. But no, I think that's what it was. And she was meeting up with strangers, okay, to get away from her life, is what she's saying, at a very young age.
And mind you, we lived in Portland, so it was kind of a dangerous place if you think about it, to be sneaking out at my age. But I was about 16 by that time. But next video I'm going to back up a little because I got to talk about when I was 15. After I talked about partially when I was 16, but I'm not done with that either. So, sorry, my whole life is a lot, and it's going to be quite a few videos, and I hope you can get through them all. But, So anyways, after I, all the things that God has got me through is a lot. After I did the last video, I realized I didn't tell you about when I was 15. So when I was 15, I lost my virginity, and I was desperately sad about that because I didn't know anything about sex, and I was saving myself for marriage, and I didn't, and I wish I really would have. I really wish I would have.
So I'm just skipping this part because I found my the transcripts, and it's really just about, you know, hooking up with somebody for the first time and all that stuff. You don't need the details. It really, you can go look for it yourself, but it's really not anything to worry about.
So then next year, 16, the turmoil in my home was out of control. Like at school, my sister disowned me. Nobody even knew that we were sisters sometimes, except for her close friends. And at home, it was awful. And at school, she was making sure that my life was miserable. But I am the natural side that God has given me. He's given me a natural knack for being happy, even when it's not, doesn't feel like I need to be happy. But I was sneaking out with so many men when I was 16, and there came a point where me and my dad got in this big argument, and I ran away, you know. And I went on the Max train. We lived in Portland at that time. I went on the Max, and I met this guy, and it wasn't sexual, at least I thought it wasn't, you know. He saw that I was alone and scared, and he asked if I needed somewhere to sleep. So I said, yeah, why not, you know. So I went back with him, and there's a whole house full of people, and, you know, I thought, oh, this is okay. It felt safe, right, for a second. I went back to the back room, and I fell asleep. And the thing that happened next, I'll tell you guys about in the next video, I guess, because this video. So, sorry, this is... Okay, well, part 6. So, anyway, so when I went into that man's house and I fell asleep, I woke up, and when I woke up, it was not for good. I woke up and there was men raping me, 4 of them, but like back to back. Now, I found myself not fighting back, and not because I wanted it, but because of the trauma from my brother. I was I just couldn't believe that was happening to me, because, I don't know, I just couldn't believe it was happening to me, and I, was so upset. I mean, like, yeah, I didn't physically fight them because, well, I was scared and traumatized, but, I was bawling my eyes out. Like, I just laid there and cried while it was happening, and I called my mom. Afterwards, I found a way to call my mom, and snuck out of that place and get to Max train. And at that time, they had payphones. I mean, who knew? And I called my mom on the payphone, and they got me to our friend's house. I still wasn't ready to go home yet, because me and my dad were in such turmoil between each other. And I went to my friend's house, and then they took me downtown, and they did a rape kit. And mind you, I was 16 years old. All these people that were raping me were at least over 30.
Trigger warning.
At least at the very minimum, was statutory rape. And the police officers refused to help me because the men that raped me were Mexican, and they didn't want them to have to deal with the paperwork if they had to be deported. So because they didn't want to do paperwork if it had to go that far.
Now, no matter what you believe of her testimony, this happens. This does happen in Texas because we border Mexico. And there are situations like this that do happen in the state of Texas, hands down. A lot of people don't know this, but, I'm sure it will be used against me in the near future. But I volunteer sometimes for CPS when a victim comes to the hospital. I can't tell you any more than that, except for that there are things that you would not believe that happen to young women that, I'll never know what will happen. But what it does to people and what it does and how they process it, when you see it, it is the hardest thing. It's one of the hardest things to see, because you could tell that their lives have completely flipped, and they're in just this state of shock. And so when you're going through something traumatic and you're trying to get help for it, and nobody wants to do the work, you feel so unworthy, right? It changes you forever. And so maybe just keep that in mind a little bit. Not saying that that is an excuse for if she is guilty of anything. What I'm saying is just keep that in mind for anybody. And if that is something that somebody struggles with.
They decided to look the other way. And that was my first real dealing with police officers in a negative way. I was so appalled that that's how they were doing business. And what's worse is they convinced my mother for a long time that it was consensual when it wasn't.
So Mr. Eve says, I'm sorry for all of you who have gone through that. And I'm sure everyone appreciates that. I appreciate you saying that. And that's how you know Mr. Eve does not hate women and takes out his problems with women out on women. And there are some creators out there that do. A few, actually. And in my opinion, that is just downright disgusting. So if you know of people who have had that in their past and continue to do so habitually, or show signs that they do it just behind your screen, it doesn't look good for you.
Part 6. Okay, one thing I've always had a hard time when I tell my testimony about is integrating all the many deaths I've had to endure. So,
okay. So this one, my ears perked because, of course, I'm open-minded. But when you say things like that, and you are a suspect in a missing child's case, my ears are, listening intently, where I'm repeating sentences. So this is how, my eyes sleuth. I'll go back.
I've had a hard time when I tell my testimony about is integrating all the many deaths I've had to endure. So when I was 6, my mother died, and we're to my age of 16 right now. So yeah, my Aunt Regine had died by then. My grandma had died. Well, anyways, I'm not sure about going over every death because some of them really did affect me horribly, and I'll probably go over those. But, and some of them affected me crazy, but all of them have had a very hard impact on me because, well, up until I realized about Jesus, and so since then, only a couple of them are hard on me, mainly because I'm not sure if they believed in Jesus, and those ones haunt me. But, over my lifespan, I'm 34 years old, and I have had to experience now over 50 deaths in my family and friends. And that's not easy. Death is something that is not fair, but I am just so glad that Jesus has overcome death. And that just makes me so happy because I know that most of the people in my family and friends that have passed away did believe in Jesus and believed him to be their savior, and I just have great hope that I'm going to see them again in heaven because Jesus doesn't make mistakes, and when he saves you, when you're fully saved by Christ, what's the word? Like, you can't lose your salvation once you have it. The love of Jesus Christ. However, when you're, if you're, wishy-washy, or when you say you believe, I will check again. Videos are long, and it's not easy to put yourself out there for the whole entire world, so,
Now, one has to admit something here. Whether or not it involves Michael, which I doubt. I do highly doubt that this testimony was her way of saying one day they're going to catch the us four people, and I have to get everything out so that they can review me and feel bad for me later to sway a jury, whatever. It just does not. I've heard that, and that's why I'm saying that. I don't feel that way at all. That's jumping the gun for sure. That's putting your narrative first. So stop it. Isn't it ironic that she is putting everything out for the world, and here we are watching, and here we are analyzing this almost as if she called it, just called it. She just felt compelled to do so, right? And unless I see a letter or a note or a text or something from a previous time that says, I am planning on writing my testimony because I'm about to get got for a crime I committed on 7/27/2021, I'm not going there. I'm not going to believe it. It is kind of weird that she felt this, in my opinion.
but I know there's probably going to be haters, and that's okay because Jesus was hated before I was. But anyways, what I can tell you
Absolutely,
is that
Mr. E.
after I had dealt with all the stuff at my house, when I was 17, I was still sneaking out with men. I was doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Sinning, just loads of sin. That cross that Jesus hung on, I put him there for sure. Makes me cry. But, for God to love me after all the things I've done, man, just, whew. But anyways, when I was 17, I got pregnant, and, I was carrying a girl, my daughter, and my first words from my dad were, well, you better have that baby adopted. And I said, no, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping my baby. And but I finally decided that not because of him, but because of my love for her, that I thought the best thing for her would be to have a good family that was stable and had a mom and a dad, and had a way for her to grow up not like I did.
Okay. So this was important to me because, yes, I do listen to the crazy conspiracy theories and wildness out there. Does this look like somebody who is desperate for a child to abduct, to then mistreat, harm, and then put him somewhere? To me, no, absolutely not. Matter of fact, that is a very typical response, very common response. This is a person who has some empathy, sympathy, and a good linear thought process as to her experience. I'm not seeing any red flags that these people are going off and on about. No, yeah, she definitely has issues, and we will see that. I have covered it extensively. I mean, the lady fell out looking at the stars for hours. JLR got sent a picture of it from a neighbor. And I am semi-ashamed, but not ashamed of an inside joke that was private, but I'm going to admit it to you right now. I might have the damn picture. Jeep girl, you might have the picture. I don't know. But it was funny because I was so tired of the inconsistencies in Michael's case, even after them being named suspects, that I mimicked the picture, if you will, by going outside and laying down on the driveway as she did, and just looked up and said, I'm done. Minerva came over there and said, bitch, what the hell are you doing? I'm about to scratch your eyes out. Get out of my domain. So I did. But it was my way of saying, I get you, girl. I get you. I have had it with the world. This is bananas. I'm going to go lay down. I feel you. I get you. I understand you. Gee, girl, I remember that. It was a comedic relief. Nothing wrong with it. No ill intent. And I'm sure that if I were to send that to her, she would probably laugh. Maybe. Hopefully she's medicated. But sincerely, I get it. When was the episode in the driveway? I believe it was right before the excavation. I think it was a year later after this, like 1 year, I believe. Because I have that police report. The neighbor said, we got Miss Ma'am out here looking at the stars. Right? But I heard that it was multiple times. I heard that it happened multiple times. So anyway, that's just my story.
Didn't have to go through the abuse, and could grow up happy. That's what I thought anyways. But yeah, so I had her adopted out. I'll tell you more about that later. That's kind of a still sore subject right now, but well, anyways, after I had her, actually, let's back up. When I had her, I dropped out of school, and not right away. The morning sickness got horrible. But my mom, she wouldn't quit on me. She saw me laying on that couch, not doing nothing, and she got mad. My mom got mad. She said, Sarah, you're going to get up and you're going to get your GED. You're not going to just sit here and be lazy on this couch. My mama is a wonderful spiritual warrior, by the way. Wish you could meet her. She's awesome.
I would love it. I really would. And you know why? Because there was unconditional love in the courtroom. Absolutely. I think I have it on a video, and I don't have it on hand. I might, but I don't care. This moment that I saw was so just unconditional love that you will have for your child, no matter how old they are, whatever. And again, I want Michael to get justice. Whoever did something to him or the people, bet I will do everything I can to help if needed, to get them to serve their time and whatever. But I just could not deny the fact that it brought me to tears a little bit. And here's why. I'm going to pull it up. I think I do have it right here. One moment. You need to see this if you haven't. Because it's one of those things you could tell. I mean, I'm sure that her mother would not be like, let's cover up a crime. It's not like that. It's, let's tell the truth, but I'm going to be by it because I'm her mom. And that makes sense to me. I'm pulling it up. One second.
But anyway, so she got me to get my GED. So I was 17 when I got that. And then, all right. Videos are long and it's not easy. So I realize this testimony is becoming
this time, and we'll be back on the record in about 10 minutes.
Okay, so this is Kay and Edward Ramsey. This is Sarah's parents. Okay, right here. And of course, let me zoom out and do this little number. All right. So that is Edward right here. I know it's hard to see. And Kay. I believe back here in the back is the Neil, Brady, Neil, and crew. Not sure exactly who is all there. There's Brandy right here. And I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. But folks around her. There is Sarah Wondra right there. And watch what Kay does. You'll see, you'll see.
All right. No. All right. No. See you back here at that time. You are remanded to the custody of the Payne County Jail. Let's take a brief recess at this time, and we'll be back on the record in about 10 minutes.
Now, what the hell? Hold on, let me, I think I pulled up the wrong one. Or maybe it skipped. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Sorry, guys. 1 sec.
All right. No. See you back here at that time.
Well, anyway, I don't know why this isn't uploading, but anyway, she puts her hand over her heart in another video that I have, and it's like a Zoom meeting, and Sarah does it back like, "Stay strong, I love you," because they can't see each other, right? So during the court Zoom meeting, she puts her hand over her heart, and so does Kay. And it was really, really, really touching. It is in the video of the Sarah video that I made just recently. So go check it out sometime. It's just so sweet.
kind of like a life story, but it's important to get through this life story so I can explain how amazing God was through all of it. And I never knew about it, but out from my mother dying when I was 6, and I never knew about it. But I was going to be able to have it, so I thought, well, I don't have any money. I never had a job before. I didn't get to have a job. I tried so hard to ask to have a job, but maybe I should have. But anyways, when I was 19, I started to go to college, and I started to work at Weimar, and I worked there for almost a year. And in college, I met another person I won't name by name because I'm sure they wouldn't be very happy if I did. But that person became my best friend. We were inseparable. I was always at her house, partying it up, drinking horribly. Yeah, we were drinking a lot. It's back before weed was legal, and I was smoking weed. I just want to put this out there that anything I talk about, I mean, if they're following the law at all anymore, I technically have a global cap, so we'll get to that too. But anyway, if they're following the law at all anymore, I technically have a global cap, so we'll get to that too. But anyways, for all you who know what that is, you're like, oh, okay, I know where this story's going. But anyways, met this girl, we were partying all the time, and when I met her, I was just a mess. She was having me meet all these other people, and I was just walking a total life of sin. But during that time, I started talking to this guy. His name was Ricky. I'll put his name on blast. I have no problem with it.
Oh, here we go. I forgot that was coming up. I choked on my ice. Ricky. Oh, Ricky. Let me talk about Ricky Chambers, who allegedly put on my comments, take my information down, my assault with bodily injury on a family member charge down, because I can't talk shit about my ex-wife and make her look bad if you're going to bring the receipts and make the truth come out to light. The lab sympathized with me and said, email me. And all of these troll accounts that are obviously waiting for me to do this. I already saw it from a mile away. So Josh from the lab, literally, fuck you, dude. Like, no cap. Fuck you. He's tending to simp for those kind of things, and I'd rather be innocent until proven guilty simp than that. So it was all a setup. I already knew it was going to happen. I knew that they were going to wait for me to react to that. It's probably the Tweezels being dickheads and working together with some of these people around there and kind of mingling because of some things that I just found out. And so fuck y'all too. I see you and I know. So he was like, take it down. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to do whatever. And I'm like, I don't even know if it's you that I'm talking to. Who are you, sir? I don't know. It's public record. And it's relevant if you're going to go up on panel and convince people that this woman said she wants to kidnap somebody. Because that's just hearsay and honestly shit talk. If you don't have the receipts for it, why even bring it up? But freedom of speech. So cool. This is my freedom of speech here, and here we go. That's the backstory of the bullshit that's going on right now with that completely disgusting behavior. I'm pretty sure they were probably trying to strike me, and it didn't work. Ha 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 ha! It didn't work. So, Ricky Chambers, ex-husband from Texas, 2010, they got divorced. Let's play it.
Sorry, ex-husband. Anyways, so he convinced me to go to Texas and marry him. So I packed up all my stuff in my car and I snuck off to Texas without anybody knowing about it. So when I got there, First he was great. I thought, he was the same person on the phone. But then...
Nothing wrong with that, Kiko. Nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. I couldn't do that, probably. But to each their own.
So I had to change positions because my phone's dying, so I have to charge my phone while I do this. Anyways, sorry, I'm a real person, I'm not just a face. Anyway, so after college, I had went off to meet this guy, like I said, named Ricky, and,
Ricky?
left my job, mind you.
I'm going to call him Ricky Bobby. That's what I'm going to do. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to be petty. Because your boy Ricky was contacted by Detective Juanita Toll to get his side of the story of character background of Sarah Wondra. Very interesting that so did Brandy Neal, asking Shayla Rose of Sharon or whatever, the friend of Cal lady, to go and interview this man and to protect him from the backlash and scrutiny, which is ironic. And I do want to call that out for being despicable. I said what I said. It didn't work out though, because the interview, he was a little scared. But I wonder if the price was right this time on the lab, maybe. I don't know. I highly doubt it was a coinky dinky that he decided that this time it was only fair. Right? Hence the reason why I got the documents in the first place on Ricky Chambers. It wasn't because I didn't know about him. It was because the Brandy and crew were going to come and try to get more information on Sarah so that they would talk more. It's a tactic that has been used on many people. And I understand the frustration of the case and whatnot. And I understand you do what you got to do. But that to me is just, it wouldn't cross my mind to hurt or harm someone or bring someone into that on YouTube. Where did that thought come across? Who came up with that idea? Because they did you dirty. It's not right.
I left my job like 5 days before I was about to get a really good paycheck because he convinced me that if I didn't go there right then, that I just didn't love him. Oh, he was so convincing. Okay, so this man convinced me to go down there. I go down there and he just 360 turns. It was the most abusive relationship I've ever been in.
Oh, I couldn't see that from a mile away. I'm shocked.
And that's saying something. So I'm just going to explain what I went through there. So, I was not allowed to go anywhere. I wasn't allowed to have a phone. I wasn't allowed to look out the window. I was a prisoner. I was a prisoner in the home with him. He broke my ribs 3 times, forced me.
Excuse me? What did he do? Can someone tag the lab? Can someone tag him? Let him know what he missed and what he forgot to ask Ricky Chambers yesterday? If it was true or not? And could he prove this? How do you get your record expunged? Maybe he'll know.
To pretend prisoner. I was a prisoner in the home with him. He broke my ribs 3 times, forced me to pretend like they weren't broken because his mother was there. And, ripped up my daughter's pictures that I had. And he ripped up my mail. He wouldn't let me read any of my mail. He wouldn't let me talk to my parents. He wouldn't let me even go to the bathroom for more than 5 minutes without accusing me of something. It was awful. But the last straw was he actually did try to physically kill me. He tried to strangle me, and I played dead, and my whole body weight fell, and I'm a big girl. A big girl. So for someone to, but he was a big guy, so it was not anything to sneeze at. But I went limp, and his mother happened to be home that day when he tried to kill me. And I screamed, and she came running to the door, and she asked him to open the door, and I went to go run to the door. And he turned me around, and he kicked my leg so hard that I had a footprint in my leg. And I just...
Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
Not good at all, Ricky Bobby. Not good at all. This is appalling. And why wasn't this brought up? Why wasn't this cleared up? Because that would be a question that I would say, sir, what say you? What happened? Ricky Bobby, this is not good. What did Juanita Toll ask you? In this incident, was she a victim or not? Were you the victim or not? You seem to be, I believe you said you were a victim of it. I don't know. Because from the documents that I have, it seems as if I'm going to go ahead and side with Sarah on this one.
knew that was the last straw. And, yeah, there's a lot more to that abusive relationship that I'll have to get in, I guess, in the next video, just for some context about. So I had to change positions because my phone's... So, second part about Ricky, this part is important because this is a spiritual side to the abuse, that I had to go through. So it seems, so when I was there, Ricky got this letter, and the letter said that if he wanted to, he could become part of this group that was going to allow him to make all this money from nothing, and be able to control everything I did and said. And it told him not to let his spouse read this letter. Well, he did. He let me read it. Joke's on you, Illuminati. Anyway.
Let me replay this. One moment.
That was going to allow him to make all this money from nothing, and a spiritual side to the abuse, that I had to go through. So it seems, so when I was there, Ricky got this letter, and the letter said that if he wanted to, he could become part of this group that was going to allow him to make all this money from nothing, and be able to control everything I did and said. And it told him not to let his spouse read this letter. Well, he did. He let me read it. Joke's on you, Illuminati. Anyways.
I bet that's an inside joke that we are not privy to. But, ma'am, I will ask you if I ever get the opportunity, because my mind went. Wow.
That's exactly who this letter was from. In this time.
She wrote the letter. She wrote the letter. This sounds like some messed up situations. She wrote the letter tricking her man. Oh, what a jokester. Oh shit.
I learned that my ex-husband at the time had been very involved in black magic and dark arts, and I believed in Jesus. I mean, I didn't necessarily practice what I preached at that time, and I mean, I guess we all don't most of the time, or sometimes, but I believed in Jesus, and so for me to, I just realized at the time I was just so unequally yoked. It was scary. But anyway, so after I left him go, I was at his house for about a month, and I tried to work it out with him. This man, I believe, had practiced some kind of black magic on me because, and I can't prove it. I mean, I can't prove that at all. But he, just the whole time I was there, I mean, I know it's Texas and there's big spiders, but the whole time I was there, I only saw one giant spider, and that was it. And after he went to jail that day, because he went to jail, the police department came and got him, and to make sure that he could be out of the home till I could get out of there. So for 30 days he was in jail. I did not press charges. Anyways.
Yeah. She skedaddled back home from the court records and never looked back, is what I think. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, because it's in the records. It happened per the state.
About the black magic thing, I'm pretty sure he sent spiders after me. Big spiders, very poisonous spiders, but God was with me, and he allowed me to recognize what it was, and he allowed me to get to them before they got to me. So I trapped these spiders and prayed in the name of Jesus to rebuke them from whatever curse was put to them, and yeah. So anyways, I got out of that situation. My parents came and rescued me. In 2009, I got put out of that situation. So second part about Ricky, this part.
Now, okay.
So after
Titties, you're going to have to break this down, because Stacy had explained that there is a person named ZEE trying to infiltrate Sarah Wondra, acting as Stacy's girlfriend right now, and that they've been together for 2 years. It's giving LaWanda's Westbrook's past discrepancies. It's giving CJ Where's Monkey 01 past discrepancies. It's giving Level. So Stacey said it's definitely not his girlfriend. So if somebody could tell them to stop the fuckery, because y'all might get some handcuffs one day if you guys are doing this fake messaging shit. You're really looking at some time, potentially. And the creators who are taking these people's messages that are allegedly from these suspects, all I can hear, you have been warned. Okay. You have been warned. But the joke will be on you at the end of it.
After I left my ex-husband and came home, things got really dark for me. Like really dark. There was like a whole period of time, I gotta tell you. So now we're going through even more of the dark. So that happened to me on the table. It was pretty gross. But the nurse thought I just had done that. Like, no, I don't do that. Anyways, so now we're going through even more of the dark times that I went through during 2011. A lot of that was also blacked out, but there's parts that I remember very vividly. I blocked them out, I think, because of the trauma. It was pretty traumatic. I feel like it was a pretty traumatic time spiritually, because yeah, here I was, a believer, asking for the devil to come in me and all this crap. But like, so I during that time, they put me in this psych ward, and it was awful. Like, there were just so many demonic things going on. Now, I'm not a person that's ever seen or heard things that aren't there. No, that's not who I am. But during this year, I did. I saw and heard things that were supposedly not supposed to be there. And when I went after that place, the psych ward, they actually court ordered me to go to a recovery center for 6 months because of the pills and the trazodone. And so I went to this recovery center, but I can tell you, I didn't feel like I was supposed to be there, because I wasn't an addict. I didn't take pills. I wasn't like a junkie or anything. That's what this place was for, I guess. But when I was there, I went through a really dark spiritual darkness for me, because I was seeing demons. I'm pretty sure I had been possessed at the time with something. I'm not.
So she obviously has some issues with really believing that she is not capable of not being possessed, right? She feels like the spiritual warfare is real. And that tends to happen a lot when you are indoctrinated in that kind of religious belief system, that you're always being attacked by Satan all the time. And it becomes this paranoia. It becomes a paranoia, especially when you have gone through traumatic experiences. That becomes your belief system, that those things are, in my opinion, an experience with others who have struggled with this. But that's what it is. When I worked for a drug rehabilitation ranch in Texas, a lot of these kids that had very, very strong religious backgrounds, and their families, were basically married to the church and stuck to the church. I don't know why this thing's going off. I'm sorry. But they would do drugs to escape that fear. It was very obvious that the fear was there all the time, that they're doing something wrong, saying something wrong. The devil's coming to get you at any point in time. And therefore you need to feel bad all the time and be paranoid and be on your game, because the devil's getting you any time at all. Right. So that's just what I know. And it does fuck with you long term. It's like having traumatic stress, post-traumatic stress, fearing the devil. And when things get rough, there you go, off in the deep end.
Not sure what I was seeing, but I was having a lot of delusions about things. And I remember toward the end of it, it was about 6 months of depravity, of just horrible things that I had to see. Like, I even looked in the mirror one day and there was like literally 2 sets of eyeballs in my head, and I about freaked out, dude. I don't even like looking in the mirror anymore because of that. to be honest with you. But yeah, but God is bigger than all of this, so, and God is bigger than Satan, so there is no reason to be afraid. But so I still look in the mirror because God's bigger. But so now we're going through even more of the dark times. Oh, I gotta get my cat. Hold on. Okay, sorry, she was crying at the door. Um, yeah, people were scared of me. It was bad. I don't even want to go into all the crazy stuff that was going through my brain. I'm pretty sure I talked to Satan himself. It was bad. Stopped. So, was it the psych meds? I don't know, but I can tell you that it was bad.
So she blames here. Listen, I have to, it's almost 2 hours in. I want to do a little bit of the Donna Serafina interview because that's what I want to do. So I will make a video of Sarah Wondra most important parts. Of course, I'm going to not put in the R word stuff. That is inappropriate. But I'm going to do the summary. But really, the most important part is this. She stops taking her meds because it's messing with her spiritualness. It's making her not be on the path of believing God to direct her life. You know how that goes with some people who are in their religious, like, intense phase. So that is not good at all. And this is what I think helps spiral her ass into the insanity of April 2022. I'm no expert. I don't know nothing about nothing. But what I do know is that psych meds going cold turkey is not good for you at all. And from my understanding, she was dropped off of the insurance from Stacey Wondra. I haven't asked him that yet, but apparently she got dropped for what? None of my business. I don't care. She didn't take care of this, okay? And therefore, the spiral.
So in 2000, toward the end of 2011 is when I got out, and I don't remember much of that, to be honest with you, other than I went to my best friend's house that I told you about. I was over there a lot, and she lived in a pretty bad neighborhood. There was a lot of drugs, and there was a lot of, like, gang activity in her neighborhood. And I just was so lost. I had no direction at that time. I just started going with her.
Okay, so we're going to pick up that another day. But again, I'll make that summary video. You can look for yourself on these. I mean, this isn't something that's just privy to me. It's for anybody. She lays it out there. Somebody asked if there was older posts.
I want to text you just to remind you that
this is 2020.
I want to text you just to remind
There's
you that
God. God is mentioned.
But then I remember that you knew.
Oh, hellfire. I went to the top like a dum-dum. Dang it, me. Mr. Eve, this proves that I am garbage. That you made a horrible mistake. Choosing me for your life partner and mother of your children. Just kidding. It's because AB's a dumbass. And he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's okay to hate yourself, not other women. Go hate yourself over there. All right. People were like, let's compare her old self to current, the current video of September 2021.
So, I just wanted to make a video about counting your blessings, because even though we're in really still blessings in each of our lives.
It's
that we
low
can be grateful
volume,
for.
sorry.
So for me today, my blessings that I have in my life is I still have a roof over my head, thank the Lord God. And I'm still, even though I'm broke, I still have my bills paid. And
Okay, God's mentioned there.
there was an earthquake today here in Idaho.
March 2020.
I'm not scared of it. God's bigger than all the earthquakes.
Okay. You know what she reminds me of? The hot dog lady from I want a hot dog real bad. The one from what is that movie? With Reese Witherspoon. Come on. It's one of my favorite movies. Why is my brain sorting out? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. We're going to go to law school. That one. Damn it. Anyway, I'll see it in the chat in just a second. She's been religious, y'all. So don't come at me, and I don't want to hear it no more on these streets. Get your research together. Period. Election. No. Stifler's mom. That actress. Legally Blonde. Thank you, Jeep Girl. Jesus Lord. She reminds me of that when she was talking.
In fact,
She seems cuckoo as usual, but in a normal cuckoo. I mean, come on. It does get progressively worse, though, if you look at these. It gets so bad. She just slowly starts to unravel. And it's weird. It's almost like when this church gets involved, because the LDS church that Labor Dave, you know, he had I guess the contract with all of the LDS churches doing the landscaping, mowing and such. Stacy said he worked with Dave at one point to do the mowing as a side job, and I think potentially she went to a church, maybe not LDS, but one like it, kind of in a sense, just not LDS, and they're more relaxed. So they have these different churches. But anyway, I digress. Doesn't matter. She joins this one that has a specific like belief set system, and she starts getting really into these scriptures. And holy shit. Then she goes to a church in Ontario. I think the one that she had always gone to. I'm not sure. But dude, I mean, scripture after scripture after scripture. And I wonder what happened there? Why did it become Scripture City? That's where you start getting worried, right? What happened there? It could be completely unrelated to Michael Vaughan. Could be something else. I do know that she states that people around her husband was making life difficult and swaying Stacey Wondra from a healthy marriage. And making in someone who is gaslighting the shit out of you because you want to continue to hang out with your friends, right? That would make you a little psychotic. And it might have happened that way. Maybe. It's always good to get two sides of the story, no matter who you are. So yes, it starts to unravel. I mean, she starts crying a lot more in these. A lot. She is struggle bussing. You know? And she really doesn't give much detail or like diving in. But she just says, God, Lord, help me, pray for me, you know? But you could definitely tell. Something goes down. Something's going on. And we're not going to really know unless she wants to come out and say it. But she's in jail right now. So let's go to Donna's. You know what? It's 2 hours in. It's 2 hours in. Let's call it today. Let's call it today. It is 9:30 in my time. Members only. I'm gonna have it scheduled here. Keep a lookout for it. It is going to involve the Twitter drama. That was a lot of work done that nobody got to really see, and it would have. It's going to show you the issues, but really, honestly, what it's doing. Now that we have more information coming from Stacey, whether or not it be fact or not, maybe there's something there. And I think I might have a few things for you that you don't want to miss. Because I would love to get your opinions on it. And I think this is the best way. So I'm going to call it for now. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Haters are going to hate. Players are going to play. Shot callers are going to call. But at least on this channel, I have great support and you believe in me. I appreciate you so much. As I say, drink your water, hug yourself, hug your babies, your fur babies, your grandbabies. All of these missing children do need a voice. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty by law. Let's be respectful out there in those streets. Much love to you guys. Have a great night ahead. Bye. If you're still here, you're very, very smart because I have a sneak peek as to what I'm talking about with the Twitter stuff.
The bad things that could have happened or could be happening. And I get that. I promise you I get that. You know that. I have expressed that to you myself. And you know how much I love Michael and your entire family. So nothing I have done today was to be or to hurt you or Tyler or Michael or your other babies, because I truly love them so much. And you know that. And my heart is in the right place. My heart has always been in the right place. I have always only ever wanted to do what was right for Michael and to find him.
Crystal, do you want to talk to Kira? Do you know what you did to her?
First of all,
don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare right now. Because do you know what you did to her? I will stop.
We're not doing this at all. You joined here, Brandy, specifically to talk about the fact that she had brought up things you did not want public. I am empathetic to what you are going through.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
We did not come on here to talk about things that you are posting about people here. We are not here to talk about things that your friends are posting about people here. We're not talking about anything in terms of your behavior, okay? We came here to talk about what happened to Michael, and we will find Michael, and we will find out what happened to him. So the defensiveness and coming in here and screaming at Crystal for doing what's best for your baby is not the way to go. It's not the way to go. And you don't need to threaten her with Kira, or at all, for that matter. We are here to help your son.
See you on the live.